All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Okay, everybody, welcome into the show. All in Mizzou with Rogue Media. We talk about Mizzou every day. Today is our weekly Tuesday offensive rewatch, where we go back and rewatch the game. I rewatch the offense for Missouri in its 38-17 loss to Texas A&M. As you guys probably can guess by looking at the stats, if you watch the game at all, you could probably tell that I probably won't have a ton of good things to say about this offense. And after rewatching it, it was terrible. I hated doing it, but I don't have that many great things to say. But I'll say them nonetheless. First of all, though, I need to get this off my chest. People who listen to this show probably don't care like I do, but well, some of them definitely do. But people in Missouri or wherever you guys listen from, maybe you're not a big Mavs fan. I just have to discuss this. I used to be a big Mavs fan until about 9 months ago, when the general manager Nico Harrison traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers in the middle of the night, and got really nothing very exciting back in return. It was just a catastrophic trade from the moment it happened. A trade that truly affected me and a lot of my friends who are Mavs fans, just in a way that I really couldn't have even pictured until it happened. I don't really care about the team anymore right now. Maybe this news will help, but the Mavs fired Nico Harrison today. Hopefully, I feel very happy. I usually try to be a good person, and I think it sucks to root for a person's downfall. Most of the time, this is the case. This is a scenario where I think it's totally appropriate to root for a person's downfall. I've been rooting for it for 9 months. Nico Harrison fired, should never get a job ever again. All that good stuff. I hate him. I'll just be honest. I hate him. But yeah, I fired. And now you have a chance to bring some Mavs fans back in to the fold, maybe. We'll see. About myself, I feel much better about the team now. I used to love the Mavs so much. I mean, it just has been a weird kind of time now that I don't care about them. I think this will probably help me with that, though. Moving on, finding myself become a fan of this team again. But just wanted to touch on that. Nico Harrison fired. Thank God. He sucks. He's a big idiot. Probably the biggest idiot who's ever lived in the sports world. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. I think in all the time of sports, you think about some of the trades that have been made. The only one I can think of that I've read about that would even be similar would be when the Red Sox traded Babe Ruth to the Yankees, and then were cursed for like 100 years after that. Other than that, I don't know if you can really sell me on a trade that's even equivalent to what has happened here with Luka. But at last, the idiot who's responsible for it is gone. The biggest idiot of them all, gone. There you go. All right, let's talk Mizzou now. I had to get that off my chest. I feel very good this morning. And, it feels weird to celebrate when something bad happens to someone else. But I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't feel weird this time. I mean, I could throw a party in honor of his downfall. I think he is the worst. He's just the worst. So there you go. Got that off my chest. It just happened. He got fired this morning. He's gone. We'll see what happens now with that team. They got a lot of work to do, but the important thing is that he's gone, and thank God. All right, here we go. Mizzou time. Let's talk Mizzou. I rewatched this game offensively for Missouri, and it was as bad as I can remember. It was bad as I remembered watching it on Saturday. These rewatches I have done for the whole season now, they used to be a lot more fun. They used to be a lot more fun. But Missouri's now lost 3 of the last 4 games. And in all 4 of those games, really, I think the offenses looked pretty bad. The last time I can remember being really impressed with this offense was the first drive of the Alabama game, where they went down the field so easily. Brett Norfleet scored a touchdown. Good throw from Bo Perbula. And then after that, it has been totally downhill. I don't know what the hell has happened. It doesn't help that your quarterback broke his ankle or dislocated his ankle, whatever he did. He is out. It doesn't help that your second string quarterback was injured the first game of the season on his first play, Sam Horn. And it certainly doesn't help that the guy you got to play now is coming off a serious ankle injury in high school. A true freshman hasn't started a game in over a year. All of these things don't help. But using Matt Zellers as an excuse for why this offense doesn't look good is ridiculous, because it hasn't looked good in a month. This offense doesn't look good for a lot of reasons, and I'll talk about them. In my opinion, I don't know everything, and I'm not here to say, I don't know. I'm not here to say what's really correct in anything. It's just my opinion, man. That's all. Here's what I think. Well, let's go through the stats. Let's run through the stats of the game. Missouri, 17 first downs. Texas A&M, 21. That doesn't seem too bad. 5 of 13 on third down. 284 total yards. That's the lowest, I think, since Oklahoma of last year. And Missouri won that game against Oklahoma last year. Ran for 207 yards. 2 of those runs were big chunk runs by Ahmad Hardy. And not to discredit that, but the run game could have been better. It probably should have been emphasized more. The problem I have right now with the run game is, and we talked about this play that Missouri, or the sequence of plays that Missouri runs. They run the outside zone, which we used to talk about a lot because it was working so well against these smaller defensive lines, less athletic defensive lines, where you get your 5 offensive linemen just going all to the right. So if you're running an outside zone to the right, all 5 of your offensive linemen get going to the right and just find anyone to block. They're blocking zones. They're not blocking a certain man or matchup. They're blocking a zone. And that allows a running back like Ahmad Hardy or Jamal Roberts to pick a gap to run through. That worked really well against teams like Kansas and Central Arkansas and Louisiana. I mean, I think that worked great because your offensive line's bigger, more athletic. It made the offensive line look great. It made the run game look great. I still think the run game is very good. At least your 2 running backs that you have are very good. But the lesser opponents made your offensive line look a lot better than in reality I think it is. I think Missouri has gotten really pushed around the last 4 weeks. They've gotten totally dominated physically. They don't look as athletic. I still think you have good players there. Like Caden Green's going to be an NFL player. Keegan Trost has been a really nice get out of the portal. And Connor Tollison has been a guy that's been here for a long time. But I don't think as a unit it is physically as imposing as some of these SEC defensive lines are. And that is one thing where Missouri had a clear disadvantage. As much as Missouri has invested in, financially and the transfer portal, they still are behind physically to me in the trenches. This year, obviously, their defensive line, I think, has been incredible. So this year, I think when I say the trenches, I mean the offensive line. I think they're for years now, and a lot of the time in this Drinkwitz era, they haven't really had a ton of continuity there. Um, it's very tough when you have to go get. You have three of your 5 starters on the line didn't start for you last year, so it's tough to do that. And I think that's one area where Missouri still does have a clear disadvantage in the SEC. They are not big enough, or they are not imposing enough as an offensive line in the trenches. And they've been shoved around. They've been totally shoved around ever since the Alabama game. It has looked like a different unit than the first 5 games of the season when Missouri started 5-0. Penalties, Missouri actually was okay here, 4 for 38. That's fine. They turned the ball over twice, 2 fumbles, 77 passing yards. Hey, 77. Luka Doncic. There's something about Luka Doncic today, apparently. 77 passing yards for Zollers, comparing that to the 21 that Marcel Reed had. Zollers was 7 of 22. Really, really just kind of struggled. 24 minutes and 14 seconds of possession for Missouri. Jamal Roberts led the way, 17 carries, 110 yards, a touchdown. Ahmad Hardy, only 13 carries. This is another thing I want to talk about. There's no reason for me. And I get that Jamal Roberts has been a great player for you. And I'm not arguing that. I'll just say this. I think Ahmad Hardy needs to be getting the ball more. And I'm not saying that he needs the ball more in lieu of Jamal Roberts. I think you just need to find ways to get these guys each 15, 20 touches a game. And you got that for Roberts. He had 17 carries. There's no reason for me that Ahmad Hardy shouldn't be getting at least 20, 25 carries a game. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think right now, this guy was a lot of people thinking this guy could be a Heisman, including myself. It's like this guy, not only is he dominating these lesser teams, but he looks like a really good running back. And, since he went for 130 yards and 3 touchdowns against UMass, he's gotten 12 carries for 52 yards against Alabama. Not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. Auburn, he got 24 carries for 58 yards. I like that, even though he's maybe struggling, averaging 2.4 yards per carry. That's another area where your offensive line's not giving you a ton of help. Auburn dominated up front. Vanderbilt, he got 20 carries for 97 yards. That's good. That's 4.9 yards per carry. That's a great number. I think you like where you are. 13 carries for 109 yards and a touchdown against Texas A&M. That is 8.4 yards per carry. There is no reason. And again, he had 2 very long runs that propped up his rushing numbers, sure. But there's no reason he should not be getting 20 carries a game. He is better than Jamal Roberts. I'm sorry. He is. I'm not saying Jamal Roberts is bad. Ahmad Hardy is better than Jamal Roberts, so he should be getting the majority of these carries, I think. If it's 51, 49% of carries for each of them, fine. But Ahmad Hardy needs the ball more than anyone else on the team, in my opinion. And Missouri has, for whatever reason, has strayed away from that. Donovan Olubide led the team in receiving once again. 3 catches for 74 yards. Nobody else had more than 1 catch. Ahmad Hardy had a catch for 5 yards. Kevin Coleman Jr. a catch for 1 yard. Jamal Roberts a catch for 1 yard. Oh, man. Joshua Manning a catch for -4 yards. That's pretty good. We could talk about the pass game now. What I saw on film initially when Missouri starts the game, they get a stop on defense. They got the momentum. It seems like the game plan against this team, this really good Texas A&M front, I feel like the game plan was really bad. I don't think they came out here with a good game plan at all. For me, you know that this Texas A&M defensive line is going to get after you. You know that. You should know that at least. So if that's the case, you need quick hitters, drag routes, slant routes, stop routes, curl routes, something in the middle of the field. A lot of times you're getting blitzes from the linebacker spots. That leaves the middle of the field open. So go there. Go to where the blitz is coming from. Matt Zollers, and it seems to me like they must have told them this is the game plan. But when he got pressured early on, he just threw it up down the sideline, just on a streak route, and didn't really connect on any of them. He hit Alubade for a 34-yard pickup. That was the long of the game. I don't know why that was what he did so much. I mean, he threw more deep balls than Bo Prabula did all year, and none of them were down the middle of the field, where I think you have advantages and speed matchups with Marquise Johnson, who didn't have a catch. Like, I don't know why you're not going more to the middle of the field. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. You're kind of throwing up prayers. And maybe this was to say, all right, let's go out there and let's connect on a deep ball for Zollers, and then that will get his confidence going. I think that if that was the approach, that's the totally wrong approach, because I think if you get him 5 easy completions, that is what is going to get his confidence going. And they didn't do that. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but you look at where Zollers threw. He threw the ball 25 times. 8 of those were 20-plus yards downfield, and he completed 2. So he was 2 for 8, 20-plus yards downfield for 62 yards. Both of his completions came on the outside right, so outside the numbers on the right side of the field. He was 2 for 4 for 62 yards outside right. Between the 10 and the 20-yard line, he was 0 for 4 in between the numbers. So between the hashes in the middle of the field, between 10 and 20 yards, he attempted 1 pass, and it was incomplete. 0 to 10 yards downfield, he threw only 3 passes. When I look at this number, this is the most ridiculous part of this to me. 0 to 10 yards downfield is where a true freshman quarterback that is getting pressure should live. And I'm not going to put all of this on the play calling. I don't think Zollers looked very comfortable at all. I don't think he was taking what was given to him a lot of the time. I think he was trying to make bigger plays than needed to be. But as a coaching staff, as an offensive coach, you have to tell your guy, take what you can get. Take the short stuff. Find Jude James. Find your tight ends. Find Kevin Coleman Jr. He had 1 catch for 1 yard. I mean, that's terrible. Let's go. You should be living 0 to 10 yards downfield. And guess what? Texas A&M was living 0 to 10 yards downfield. Absolutely. They threw 13 times 0 to 10 yards downfield. Marcel Reed threw the ball 32 times. 13 of them were from 0 to 10 yards down the field. 9 of those were in between the numbers, so in the middle of the field. I just hate that the game plan wasn't I hate the game plan wasn't better than it was. I think you have to be more prepared. You have to get your guy more prepared, because when you watch film, when you go back and watch this game, there are holes. When they blitz, that means there are going to be holes, and you have to help your quarterback find them. Your true freshman quarterback. This is something you have to prepare him. When you get pressured, the answer isn't just throw it down the field, throw it as far as you can up in the air. The answer is find your first option and just throw it to him. Find your short route in your route tree, throw it to him. I mean, that should be, in my opinion, the game plan to get this going. And if you can find success there in the short passing game, A&M's going to, stop blitzing or bringing so much pressure. And that's when you can maybe go down the field. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't get it at all. I really don't think it's been now a theme, like with Bo Prabula too. Missouri is not looking in between the numbers, and that is where, if you remember, like 2023 with Brady Cook and Luther Burden, they lived there. They lived in between the numbers. That was where Luther Burden was really excellent. So I don't know. I don't know what's happened to this offense. I don't know what's happened to the play calls or anything. I just don't think it hasn't been great, and that's unfortunate, but your offense is costing you games. I think despite giving up 38 points, I think the defense did play well enough to win this game. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. But it's frustrating now because I think you do have a really good defense that just isn't getting any sort of help. So those are some of my thoughts. I think, I don't know, you're going to have to find a way to get him comfortable because he's your guy the rest of the year. And, you still, I don't know. It's a tough spot to be in for him. I definitely sympathize with Matt. I think he's been thrown into a really difficult situation, and I don't know. I think it's just very unfortunate. This is where you would love to have a guy like Sam Horn. It's unfortunate that he got hurt so early. So, yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know where you go to make this offense better because I think a lot of the problem is coaching. I think the other part of the problem is just that your quarterback's not equipped. He's not prepared for this yet. But that's on the coaching to do. And Drinkwitz keeps talking about how, our guys fought, but it's on me. It's on the coaching staff. Like, at some point, that's great to hear. Fine. I don't know if that's actually great to hear as a fan. I think coaches want to make themselves look good and say that. But to me, it's like, well, why are you coaching if every time we lose, it's your fault? Are you making adjustments personally? Like, I don't get it. The offense needs to make adjustments coaching wise, I think. And I still think people are probably being pretty harsh on Drinkwitz. I think you probably including me, like, I wasn't here. I wasn't a Missouri fan before Drinkwitz. So I have a hard time contextualizing what this program was like before that. I can recognize that I have been privileged in the level of Missouri football I've gotten to watch. Since 2021, since 2020, I've been watching Missouri. And it's only gotten better from there. And I think that's a testament to Drinkwitz. But there is a time where you have to say, that's great. You've improved. You've raised Missouri's ceiling, absolutely. But is this the ceiling? Is this it? It's a Strokes reference. Is this the ceiling? Or can you get any better than this? I don't know. You have to start winning some of these games you're not supposed to win. And I can't remember the last time Missouri won a game it wasn't supposed to win. So, yeah, frustrating for sure. But a lot of season left. You have 3 games that I believe are winnable. And then you go to a bowl game, you have a chance to get in, win 10 games again. And as boring as that has become now for Missouri, like going 10-3, going 9-3 and then getting a silly bowl and winning. That's what happened last year. It's still a 10-win season. I still think that is impressive. So there's still something to play for. You have the future of your program, Matt Sellers, in there. To watch him progress and get better every year, I think will be a really important factor in determining where this program and team can go next year, because he's going to be the guy. I think I don't know how you can bring in this, what Drinkwitz has called the future of your program and Matt Zollers, and then put Bo Prabula back in next year. As much as I like Bo, I don't know how they're going to handle the quarterback situation. I imagine it's going to be Matt Zollers next year, but either way, it's going to be really important to figure this offense out and get him some confidence. Get him, let's get a couple of good games for him under his belt. And that is where you got to get things together. these last 3 games of the year. Despite being eliminated from the playoffs, there's still something, especially as an offense, something to prove. Like you have to, you got to give us something. I'll run through PFF grades real fast, then I'll get out of here. The highest graded player on offense, Jamal Roberts. Then it was Donovan Alubade. Then it was Ahmad Hardy. Then it was Curtis Piegler. And then it was Dominic Judice. Let's see. Receiving grades, highest graded receiver, Alubade. I mean, everybody else, not very good. Grade-wise, rushing, you have Roberts and Hardy right there in at 1 and 2. And blocking, let's go to blocking, pass block. Curtis Piegler has the best grade. Dominic Judice, actually, they're tied for the best grade, 85.7 pass block grade. Connor Tollison, the center, 83.3. Caden Green, 78.1. And Ahmad Hardy, 76.6. Run blocking, I imagine these are going to be some low numbers. Yeah. Alubade was your highest graded run blocker. Curtis Piegler was your second highest graded run blocker. I don't know how the hell this works, but Matt Zollers was your third highest graded run blocker. That is not ever going to be a good sign if your quarterback is your highest grade or third highest graded run blocker. Rushing direction, I like to look at this because it kind of shows you where Missouri's running. They ran most of the time like an outside zone to the left. They ran that 4 times for 30 yards. They also ran up the middle, so there was counter plays 4 times for 24 yards for Hardy. That was Roberts. Hardy ran most to the right side, outside zone. He ran 4 times for 7 yards. His biggest run came in the right guard gap. He had 2 runs there for 56 yards. One of them was for 45 yards. So there you go. Those are kind of the grading breakdown. That's pretty much all I have. I mean, I think it's definitely a frustrating time to watch Missouri offense, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think they have to find a way to get better. And against Mississippi State at home is a decent opportunity to do that, because after that you go on the road to Oklahoma and Arkansas, and that'll be tough. All right, come back tomorrow. I'll talk defense. Thanks for joining me here today at All in Mizzou. Thanks to Rogue Media. Thanks to the listener, you. I appreciate it. Come back tomorrow. We'll talk defense. Have a very happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yep. Have a happy Tuesday. Enjoy yourself.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.